here we are, Liquid Lunch, just carrying on here. We've got Lisa Michelle on the right. Oh, the audience won't see. There's Lisa Michelle and Arita Marshall here.
Hi.
Hi. And, I know what we got to do, because what we just realized, Lisa Michelle, I have to say those together, don't I?
You don't have to. It's all good.
Is that you were in James King?
I was. We're still really
was.
close. I perform with them every now and then, but
yeah,
we're.
So that's the only music we have. We don't have any of your music. So we're going to play some
will.
James King when we end this interview, just for fun.
Yeah, of course.
Just to hear the group that you were in. But you guys are doing something, I don't know what it is exactly. It's called Lyme and Tings.
Yes, it's a talent competition, Toronto's only Apollo-style talent competition, and it's for singers and poets. There's different rounds, there's eliminations, there's judges. It's all Thursdays in August. It's our third time doing it, so it's getting bigger and better every time.
What is it, like every month, once a year?
Twice a year.
Twice a year?
Twice a year. The last one was in March. The one before that was in August. So, like I was saying, this is the third installment, and it's all 4 Thursdays in August. So round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4. Starts off with 20 contestants, and then works its way down to one grand prize winner.
So it's like the playoffs.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. Something like that.
Talent.
That's great. So, what happens at these? So 20 people sign up.
Yes.
Right now, have you got all 20, or are you
Yes,
still
we do.
looking for? Okay, so
No.
it's too late if you're a poet or a
singer.
This time around.
This time.
But we do it twice a year. So
Yeah.
if you want to be featured at the next one, certainly come out and watch this one, or email lymeandtings@gmail.com.
All right. lymeandtings@gmail.com. So how does it work exactly? Or no, actually, before we get to that, like, what's the story of how this thing came to being? Because you guys obviously, I know a little bit more about you, Lisa Michelle, than you, Arita. But how did this come to be?
How did this come about? Well, Lisa and I actually met at a Trey Anthony workshop, and it was how to become a working artist. And we had, I think, met each other maybe a week or two before at an open mic and had briefly said hello to each other. So when she walked into the workshop, it was kind of like, hey, good friends. So the workshop was a great experience for us. And Trey's philosophy was basically, if you want to do something, you have to set certain things in place in order to do it, which was pick a date, book a venue, tell everyone about it, and then you better make sure that you work your way up towards that and be ready to present what it is that you said you were going to do. So after the workshop, we were hanging out talking, and I kind of said, hey, well, why don't we put what Trey said into practice? And 6 weeks later, I think we had a show with a few of the other participants of the workshop called Art and Soul, a Night of Words, Sounds, and Visual Expressions, wherein we all had to take responsibility for our talents. And we put together a show, invited our friends, families, co-workers, and somewhat of a talent show, if you will.
And then what happened?
And then Trey really liked what we did with it, because it was the first time, like Arita saying, we had just met just prior to that workshop. We put the show together with a few other ladies, and it was a really big success considering we had never put together a show before. So Trey really liked it. She's like, I have this idea, this show called Lyme and Tings, and it's going to be an Apollo-style competition where we're going to have judges. The audience can shout out how they feel about contestants and yank people in or out of the competition, and I want you guys to produce it. And we're like, we've never done this before, right? And but we did it, and that was the first one that took place last August, and it was a really, really big success. It took place at the Trey Anthony's at One Center, and we pretty much packed it, which is why every time we do it, it gets bigger and better. This time it's at the Annex Live at 296 Brunswick Avenue.
Right by the Future Bakery patio,
Yes.
just south of there, right?
Yes. You know exactly where it is.
So it's interesting how I think there may be a potential new social media called Shout Out instead of Tweet Out or Tweet.
I never heard of it.
Well, you inspired me to say that, because I imagined the audience shouting out what they thought.
Okay.
So we have Twitter with little tweets.
True.
So you're going to have Shout Out with big words, maybe less words.
That's
What do you
essentially
think?
what could happen.
So you say it's Apollo style.
Yes.
So what did those astronauts do? that inspired you to do this contest?
We are referring to the New York Apollo, where generally Caribbean crowds are known to be vocal, whether you invite them to or not. So that's where the term Lyme and Tings, that Caribbean sound, the title, that's where Trey Anthony came up with that, because it's supposed to have that Caribbean feel. Not that that's the only contestants we have. It's actually really varied in terms of what styles of music and styles of performers we have. But it's supposed to be that feel where everybody's welcome to say anything. And even though we have a panel of judges who determines who stays in the competition and who
Oh,
goes,
really?
Yes.
their part of their judging criteria is the audience participation. Was the audience feeling them? Did the audience want them to stay on the stage? Did the audience want them to get off the stage? So the audience is a big part of it. It's a very interactive show.
Now, it's interesting. I wonder what it's like to try to do that in Toronto, because the crowds in New York
Are different.
are a little different, and the crowds in the Caribbean are a little different.
Yes.
Right? And here in Toronto, it's kind of, what it's
A
like.
little bit more tame.
Yeah, exactly.
They are, but they still do voice their opinions on it. I mean, the first show that we had, one contestant didn't make it to the next round, and her grandmother
Oh,
stood
man.
up, and she was livid. And we thought she was going to pull out a machete or something. It was amazing. It was
And
funny.
we've learned from that first show to almost give the disclaimer when we meet the contestants for the first time. We actually have an info session with the contestants before the show starts, before round one, to let them know how it works and to be like, take this with a grain of salt. Like, the judges try to be constructive, but even constructive criticism hurts sometimes. So we just let them know it's all part of the show. It's really just about getting a chance to not audition, but to
Showcase.
perform and showcase yourself and your talents in front of a new audience. But don't
Yeah.
take it to heart and don't try to kill us after the show.
Okay. Because, sometimes, like if you watch American Idol or something like that,
Yeah.
some of the better people don't make it.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I
course.
mean? And
Well,
so,
We have our Rachel Lee Rickards, who is close to being the Simon of the show.
oh yeah?
And yes, she makes it known, but she does give very good constructive criticism, but she'll be honest with you in that sense.
Yeah.
The same way I think Simon is honest. He's just
Yes.
very, very honest.
Well, he's supposed to do that for the ratings,
Of course,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. So, what does the winner get? How does the winner?
The winner gets
Yeah.
$500
Yeah.
right off the bat. They also get a media package from CG Media and CG Media Training and Consulting Services, where they'll get their demo, not their demo, but their bio written for them or assisted, and training on how to give media interviews and write a press release, how to become newsworthy. So they'll get that as part of their package. There's also prizes from Big It Up. There's a number of things going on that they can get, and we're actually still working on more prizes for the grand prize winner as well.
There's also a personal training session. They win 3 1-hour personal training sessions from a personal trainer named Mario Maradi. And what he'll basically do is, if they don't have a gym membership, take them outside and show them how they could use the outdoors and the elements as a gym.
So basically, you're leaving with money, some cool hats, some media training, and an awesome body. I think that's a pretty good package.
Really?
Wow,
So you guarantee the awesome body.
An awesome body part.
Now, is there any style, any genre of poetry or music, or do you have like half poets or half singing, or how does that?
We try our
Work
best
out.
in recruiting to get half singers, half poets, so it's kind of an even keeled competition, and also a varied performance to watch. So you're getting the best of both worlds. We tend to have more singers. They're just either poets are more reserved about competitions, or they're just not reaching out. But singers are like there's
Always
so
out
many.
there.
They're always out
You know
there,
what I
always
think?
ready to jump.
I
on
think
it.
because there's like hardly any money in poetry anymore. Not like the good old days where you can make a killing writing a few good poems. Now today,
Well, I
Who's
wouldn't
paying
say
for that?
music is all that lucrative all the time either. But I think more people feel like they are singers, I suppose.
Yeah.
But that seems to be what comes out more. But in terms of style, we have all kinds of style. We don't specify that we need any particular genre when we're recruiting. It's anything goes, really. Just be good. That's what we want.
I wonder how people could make poetry more interesting to attract a wider audience. Do you have any ideas?
There's slam poetry out there where it's competition style. People compete against each other for the best poem. A lot of poets perform with music just to make it more interesting and draw a different audience in with that.
Props.
Yeah.
Props.
Things, yeah.
Puppets.
Maybe somewhere that's been done.
Just an idea for somebody who wants to stand out this August in Lyme and Tings. Maybe they can use puppets. Well, this is great, guys. Is there anything else you want to let people know? We're going to give out all the contact information and all that stuff, of course. But
For sure. We want to encourage you to come out. This is a Trey Anthony production as well as a Seesaw Live production. Arita and I make up Seesaw Live Productions. So pretty much everyone knows everything that Trey Anthony puts out. It's always a hit. So it's going to be a great show. It's hosted by Trix, who's a hilarious comedian in the city. If you haven't seen him, you
Need to go.
really should. And we're very lucky that he is on board for our Lyme and Tings. Lyme and Tings is all 4 Thursdays in August, so easy to remember. Starts at 7. We have a Lyme-alicious menu. You can eat till your heart's content. 3-course meal for $20. It's going to be a good show.
and you're right up there at Bloor and Brunswick, which is like
Yes.
a great place to hang out on
And
any
the annex.
summer
Totally.
evening, right? So
Totally.
that's great. Is there a website where people can get tickets or can
They
find out
actually
more?
can just pay at the door,
Yeah.
but they can go to www.seesawlive.com for
That's-
more information there.
SEELIVE
SAW. Yes, sir.
.com.
Yes, sir.
So that's where the info is. Okay, great. All right, guys. Listen, it's been great to have you here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Thanks
so
for
much.
coming in. We're actually going to play just for fun, just some James
Yeah,
King.
I love them too.
What
It's all good.
Exactly. And we're going to get you back, Lisa Michelle, and talk about your new project. And Arita, of course, you're welcome to come back anytime and talk
Thank
about
you. Poetry?
your other. Do you do poetry?
Yes,
Yeah, do some
Yes.
poems.
absolutely, I will.
Okay, great.
Take care.
Thanks, guys,
Thank
for
you.
coming in.
Thank
Lyme and Tings, seesawlive.com. Here's some James King. We're going to come back right after this, thatchannel.com.